Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
Back for Survivor 47, episode 5. The scales they be tipping. Make sure you like and subscribe here, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter for all of your Survivor coverage, all of your reality TV coverage, including an interview coming up with Peter Madrigal of Vanderpump Rules and of the newly created reality network. So really cool interview. You get to hear a little bit of Vanderpump tea and some stories from behind. And Peter even throws out some opinions and stuff that he had never actually said publicly. So really cool. It's a lot of funny stories there, and it's cool to see somebody progressing and trying to make something for themselves. So, big shout out to Peter. Thank him for his time. Whoo, Brian, Survivor tonight. I think they're stringing together a couple of good episodes. It's nice to see some blind sides. It's nice to not just see I just think it's like vanilla gameplay. I like people going around. I like Rome being chaotic, even though people may have certain opinions of him. I like the fact that somehow Andy can literally be one of the dumbest Islanders ever, but he just keeps on surviving and made some good gameplay tonight. I mean, he did, in fact, set those conversations up, and I have to give him credit for that because we've dogged him a lot, on our reviews. And frankly, honestly, the blind side to Annika. I love the moment. I love her being like she wouldn't leave. She's like, real. Like, what was she waiting for, Brian? An apology?
Yeah, I didn't feel bad for her because I mean, to me, she's a nobody on the show. So it wasn't like it was a blind side. I wouldn't say it was like an amazing people I saw online like this is an amazing blind side. I was like, there's if it was like a big player, like I think if to me because I saw I'm not gonna spoil anything. I saw our friend Kyle Petty's tweets
Yep.
like there's a blind side. So I was like, ooh, who is it? If it was Sam, then I'd be like, okay, that's a blind side. That's kind of what I was expecting. Like I was like, ready for like Sam or
Sierra.
yeah, like one of them to go home where like they were gonna screw each other over. But like, I mean, it's fine. I mean, good to see Annika go. I mean, she didn't really matter to me, but
She had herself a hit. She had no vote. And, frankly, it's like you go and you do these things and you lose a vote. You could participate in these goofy excursions and stuff, and you want to do it. Don't go on these excursions, people. You set yourselves up to be royally screwed because there was only 3 votes tonight. She hadn't lost her vote. Now you're into the deadlock situation, right? And now
yeah,
you have an actual game happening here. And then maybe one of them gets squirrely and then it gets into the situation where she can directly call. She's like, I'm more valuable to you than Andy. He stinks. And like that was the only thing I thought lacking even from the tribal council when they're they're all beating around the bush. You are the only two that are on the block. Call the other guy out. Just be
yeah.
why am I more valuable than this dope? And just do it.
I almost feel like now tribal councils they don't hit like they used to. Where I feel like there's a lot of talk, a lot of nothing talk. Like they just kind of speak, like you said, like beat around the bush. A lot of like riddles. They'll have a quote in there that might be an episode title. Like it doesn't draw me in like it used to do. So I don't know. I just think they spend a lot of time. Like I would have liked to see maybe a little more strategy at the beach and like maybe some conversation about like how they would go there because they're not doing anything. If they're not whispering and like doing like something in tribal, like I don't know, just it was not. I thought it was
I think the where they really could have pumped this episode up more was in the Survivor social hour, right? I would have liked them to be there overnight, even
yeah,
spend a good amount of time, let some relationships foster. They're eating and they're probably getting sick because they haven't eaten any real food in a week. Like there's probably wasn't as much time and effort that I think that we could have gotten out of the longer that these people are separated, the
yeah,
more the paranoia starts, right? I mean, besides Rome, who's instantly paranoid about anything and starts bouncing around and getting caught in lies and stuff like that. I would have liked to see that stretch out a little bit longer. Actually, give the people on the beach some time to go get an idol. You know what? They're not getting to eat. Let them have some form of something. And that's where I think it fell a little bit short. I also think the episode fell a little bit short in the twist, Brian, because I'm going to tell you, when I saw them walk up and there was only two, I started fist pumping.
yeah,
I'm like, early merge, let's go. 2 tribes, and then we're going to go to a merge. This is fucking
mhm.
different. Let's go. And Jeff's like, you'll be gone for an hour. I was
Yeah.
like,
That's.
oh.
I think. Yeah, I was just about to say. I think if they stayed the night and like team one lost, those people are going to tribal council and not, and then like team
That's what
two
I
is safe.
thought.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like they merge next week too. So I think it would have been a lot. That would have been probably been a lot better because Annika was on the losing team, so she could have still gone home. But like that one, you don't know what's going to happen because we have a like Jeff said, there's a mix of all the tribes on this list. You had Annika, Soul, Rome, Gabe, Andy, Sierra, Genevieve. Like I would like to see how they would have gone there. Yeah, just like again, they just sell these big twists, and it's not a big twist. They do this all the time. They do this in the other one too, where it's like, remember they like somebody sits out. It's basically nobody sat out.
No.
It's so it's wasn't a big twist to me.
I mean, the fact that, God forbid, at least we got a reward challenge and a regular
Right.
challenge, it definitely structures the episodes way better.
It's yeah, I don't yeah, the more I'm like talking about it and just every time we come on here, I try to be like positive, but as we just sit here and discuss, I think about how the episode played out. Like it's just okay. And like I just we have so much source material and I just do it wrong. And Kyle always says when he comes on here, like Survivor Australia is better. It just is.
What did you think of Rome's panic attack when they came back? I mean, that's what I understand about him. There's only three of them there. You don't think that possibly Saul and Genevieve are gonna talk to each other at some point, dude? Like,
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that he would maybe go into I wouldn't say like he's a true villain. He's just doing kind of weird things. Like he's not like a true villain like some of the guys that we've seen on the show, but yeah, he's paranoid, and I think he knows that like he's made some moves that are gonna bite him in the butt. I mean, he knows his days are numbered, so that's kind of where they can't lose now.
shout out to our buddy Johnny Fairplay of Survivor fame. We had talked to him a week or so ago, and at the time, it was right before or right after last week's episode was pro Rome, and now via his most recent review, very anti Rome. Thinks he's playing like an idiot. So didn't
Johnny
take
said that.
long. Yeah, Johnny,
I haven't watched any either. I've just been busy with work.
yeah, you have the right to do that. Is like I thought this guy was going to be exactly what the show needed. He was going to be a proper villain, and like you exactly kind of said, Brian, he's more
Yeah,
just doing erratic things, and that
yeah.
doesn't make you a villain. It just kind of makes you
No, no, no. Like he did. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's nice to see, like obviously, like people doing things. When people in the public aren't liking players, a majority, that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign. Uh, we don't want division in this country. We want division in the shows we watch. Like that's you
division
need
in our
teams
comment
here.
section.
Yeah,
Not the
like that's
country.
where we want division on. Like I hate this player. I don't want them to win. That's the division we want. Same thing in sports. There's division. Like I want to win. I want the other team to lose. Like it makes it more fun to watch. So maybe, but I still think he's going to be in trouble when they go to merge. Like so, we're definitely going to merge next week. Obviously, Soul is not going to work with him. Genevieve, like you said, probably going to move. He's at the end unless he could go over to one of the other tribes, but I don't. I think that those if a bunch of people say like, "Hey, he's kind of erratic," he could be in danger. And I don't. He doesn't have that. I don't think he has that strength to win individual immunity challenges.
No, I mean he kind of talked about it tonight, like they're physically faded. And I will say, I am glad that they didn't lose and have to go to tribal. I'm never a huge fan of a decimated tribe going into the merge because then they're just picked off. And I frankly like the idea that we have what's going to be like 4-4-5, I believe,
I
is
think
the
it's 4-4-3.
balance. 4-4-3. So
I think.
looking now,
Six, seven, eight.
Aisha, Jerome is Rome.
Yeah,
Two.
you're right. It was four. It was five.
Yeah. So
It was
again,
5-5-4.
yep, exactly. So
Right.
that would have been a
You're
five
right.
five three going in.
Yeah.
That would have been rough, right? So
Yeah.
we're
So now it's 5-4-4.
yep, exactly.
I
And
think.
yeah, no, I think that's exactly it. I think it's 5-4-4. So let us know in the comments if we're all
Yeah.
five.
Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But again, I do think it's going to set up for a balanced merge. I do think that one thing I did like out of this episode was when they were on the beach, some people were kind of ratting some people out. You have the Tiana of it all really calling out Gabe, which I thought was like a little, she was over exaggerating how well that guy's doing.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot who she was when they were talking about her, like in tonight's episode, where like he was talking about Gabe, and I was like, "Who is she again?" Like there was a
Well,
scene where the two girls, I think it was her and Caroline talking. I was like, I don't know which one of these is each person. So I don't know. It's just that's the problem with this new season. Like with the three tribes, you don't know these people, and same thing with Annika. Annika going home. It's like, who
so what?
cares? Like we barely seen her.
Man, I haven't seen somebody so shocked in a while. Even last week's Blindside wasn't as shocked as this week's Blindside. And I agree with you, Brian. I think Blindside, I thought the same thing. I think Blindside might be a little bit strong. Obviously, she didn't see it coming. That's also kind of dumb, right? You didn't have a vote. You're
Yeah.
What are you offering? Like what do they owe you? What have you
Mm.
contributed? What have you planned? What have you schemed for them to go, I'd rather keep you over someone else? And frankly, they didn't make a stupid decision, which was nice. I really thought that Sam or Sierra was going to get mega gun shy and revert. I really thought it was going to be Sierra was going to revert back to and not go along with the plan.
Mm.
She did, which for her game and for his game, I think is a good sign. They got a crazy target on their back though. I think either of them's gonna have a very hard time winning this.
Yeah. I think Sam would be the one that would probably go first.
Been a little bit more vocal. He's been a little bit more of the vocal denier as well.
Mm.
Right? Like, oh no, we're not powerful. We're not powerful. She's kind of just sitting there. She's not saying anything. She's not really trying to refute it. I think she kind of knows is like, I do at least have a could fall back with the women when we do
Right.
merge as well. And it does seem like we may get a pretty decent sized female alliance, Brian. At least that's what like maybe simmering for when we get to the merge next week.
It's I love when they would go in here. It's like let's have an all guys line and all girls lines. It'll last maybe like 2 weeks and then it reverts.
They can't
I'm gonna
help
be
turning on themselves.
yeah, yeah. So like we said, the blind it was technically a blind side. It's just it wasn't to me like a oh my goodness blind side. Like again,
Yeah, I
maybe
mean, we
if we
saw
knew
the
her,
FLA.
maybe if we knew her, we didn't know her. So to me, it's just an elimination. It's like see you later. I'm yeah,
Trim in excess, man. We got to get to
yeah.
the merge, right? And the only way to do it is get rid of 5 people, right?
Yeah,
So that's what we
and the
did.
merge doesn't even it just doesn't even hit me right now. Like it's just kind of annoying. Like the merge used to be like such a big deal, and like now we just get to it. I'm just like, okay,
Well,
stay
Brian, because
seven.
well, you and I both know. Besides that fact, they're going to do a bunch of jumble bullshit coming up the next few weeks, where it's like only those who lost are
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's what I mean.
put
It's
into
so dumb.
random teams, and it's not going to have your alliances aren't going to matter.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
here's the
there's
luck of the draw. If you have to end up with a couple of your alliance members in
yeah,
your group of 5 or 6
yeah,
for these challenges. Prove me wrong, Jeff. Don't do something goofy. Just do normal challenges and let us have the camp life in the merge and let that decide. And don't let the luck of the draw decide who ends up going home.
it
It's kind of where I'm at.
you can't hold your breath, man. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm not holding my breath, Brian, but I will say again, and not like it's a crazy accomplishment, but of the new era, I'm the most intrigued I've been 6 weeks now in. The last few years, 6 weeks in, we were like basically like completely hate watching. I am
Yeah,
not at hate watch level yet. Subject to change, but I am not
right,
hate watching Survivor right now.
right.
It's probably the 90 minutes. It's helping a lot.
Yeah, 2 hours would be terrible. 1 hour would be great, but
From your lips to God's
yeah,
ears, or AKA Jeff's ears.
right.
Hi, Jeff. It's really my thoughts for this week, Brian. I think with
Yeah.
overall reactions good. Next week we'll probably have a little bit more of a deep dive. We'll probably have Kyle back as well to dissect the merge. But any other kind of closing thoughts on our way out?
Nope.
Like I mentioned earlier, we have a ton of reality TV we're covering, whether it be House of Villains, whether it be The Golden Bachelorette, whether it be Love and Hip Hop. I already said House of Villains. Love is Blind, multiple iterations of Love is Blind, Below Deck, tons of clips on our TikTok as well. So just check out our content. There's something for everyone. Interviews as well. So the next one will be Peter Madrigal of Bravo and Vanderpump Rules fame. So we'd love for you to check it out and check out his network as well. But until next week, for myself and Brian, thank you so much for watching our Survivor coverage. Peace.